Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today is September 1st, 2016. It's exactly 1 year after the launch of the wonderful game Mad Max that came out from Avalanche Studios a year ago. I had almost forgotten about the game. It's always on my mind. I see friends of mine playing it from time to time, and occasionally we'll see articles and screenshots on it still. But for the most part, it's been forgotten. Very few people talk about it. It's on very few people's list of games to pick up and play and what have you, which is sad. But I just yesterday saw, Facebook always reminds you a year ago today, you did this or bought that or, had a heart attack or whatever the deal was. Well, a year ago, as of yesterday, I just, picked up and bought the brand new Mad Max game, which I had pre-ordered and got some wonderful pre-order incentives, a really nice poster, as well as a, in fact, you can see I'm in the process of starting the game. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of screw around with the game and talk about it at the same time. So hopefully you can hear this okay. I don't know exactly where I am with the volume of the TV. I try to have the TV volume down a little bit so you can hear me, but it's been an interesting journey. This is my experience with Mad Max. A year ago I was 60% of the way into Jedi Outcast, which I was mesmerized with. I hated to stop this, and all of a sudden Mad Max was coming out, and it's like, God, I'm going to have to actually stop this incredible experience to play another newer game, which I've been quite anxious to play. So I hated to stop this, and because of that, I have not gone back and finished this. In fact, since I've played and gone through this strange episode with Mad Max, which I'm going to try to attempt to remember and talk about here in this little rant, I've yet to complete any game. This has almost been like a curse, this Mad Max game. And then, of course, I stopped the game after over 200 hours in it because of multiple problems and a fourth major patch from Avalanche Studios. And, of course, this, Fallout 4 was coming out in other games. So I just took a temporary, hiatus from it and said, you know what, I don't want to permanently put a bad taste in my mouth. I'll just simply stop playing it for the time being until I can get back to it because I love it. I've had all kinds of problems with the game. It's a wonderful game. It exceeded my expectations on so many fronts. I'm shocked, frankly, that the game is even in existence because, let's face it, Mad Max and The Road Warrior and the other films are kind of cult classics. They aren't the mainstream movies that we think about, like the Blade Runner and Aliens and Star Wars. There's so many other big films that have prompted a cavalcade of movie license tie-in games over the years. I was shocked that they were even going to make this. My good friend Mikey from Mad Max 09, I'll have a link to his channel down below. He just recently bought me this Outlander game, which you can see here for the Sega Genesis. Now, I had played the Super NES version of this, and this was the only Mad Max game that I was ever familiar with. Back, I think, in 91 or 92, whenever I bought it for the Super NES. This is the superior Genesis version with a little bit more detail and wonderful car combat. You can see some of the, some little screenshots there. This is a wonderful game. This is my most sought-after game for the Genesis. Again, thanks to my good friend Mikey, and thanks, Mikey, for this. I really do appreciate it. We've helped each other out with games and consoles over the last few years. But this is a major victory for me. I'm so excited to have this, as I'm excited to have the new Mad Max game. In fact, I've been kind of going through the nostalgic glasses and watching I did a whole series of videos. Did my first Mad Max impressions of this game, the first couple hours I had it. I did a review shortly after it, about 40 hours into it. Then I did a series of other videos, like on tips and tricks on how to get through it, because I was having problems because the game is so kind of unuser friendly. It's a kind of a very simplistic, right to the point tutorial. If you don't catch it as it's happening along the way, you're screwed. And this game can be very, very difficult. Without the internet, I never would have discovered a lot of the basic game mechanics and ways to progress in the game. In fact, early on in the game, there's a major story progression that a lot of people had problems with. If you didn't go on the internet and figure out what it was, I spent 40 hours spinning my wheels, literally, not advancing the story because I couldn't figure out what to do next. That's how strange and convoluted the game can be in some of the waypoints. But I figured it out and did my tips and tricks video on it, just kind of helping people get through the game. But I've done other videos, and I did one that was called 6 Things That I Love About the Game. So I've had a lot of fun with it, and here I am playing it now. I just bought this wonderful Deus Ex Mankind Divided and the strategy guide. I should be playing this. Here I pre-ordered this, the first game I pre-ordered, ironically, since Mad Max a year ago. And instead, I'm going back and playing Mad Max because I feel I want the curse lifted. Since this game came out, I've had nothing but disappointments with it. I had some of the most immersive, wonderful times of exploration and fun imaginable, and I just said, my God, I'm in heaven. This is the ultimate Mad Max experience, interactive experience. Let me see, load game. I've got so many hours of replaying it and replaying it again. I can't even remember. I've got all these save slots. Some of them represent, hundreds of hours. Some of them I went back and replayed. Auto save slot 6, 1. I don't even know where I'm at here. Let me see if I can figure it out. 5. Time play 2 days and 18 hours. 2 days and 18 hours. That might be the last game. 2 days and 14 hours. Let me see. 2 days and 4 hours. 14 hours. It's probably this one, I hope. See, it's a strange save system too. You can easily, I overrode 102 hours of gameplay over a simple mistake, and hopefully I'm not making the same one. It's been so long since I've played it. I mean, I don't even know. Let's see, are you sure you want to load this save? The auto save will be overwritten and unsaved changes will be lost. It's terrifying. God, am I going to overwrite something? I don't know. Last time I played it was November 10th of 2015. That's about right. I guess I'll go ahead and play this. If not, I can always start the game for a 4th time. I've had so many problems with this game. It's a shame because it's the ultimate game for me. I'm a motorhead, a gearhead. I love cars. I love car movies and films about cars, and certainly video games about cars and racing and driving. But to me, this was just culminated in the most perfect wish. It's like if you were into the Blade Runner and they made the ultimate Blade Runner movie. I mean, you just would be in a state of heaven. That's how I am as a big Mad Max fan. Look at this. Great graphics. Yeah, I remember being on this last November. I stopped at this bridge. Let me see on the map where I'm at here. You can see I've found every piece of scrap. Look at this. Wow, I haven't seen this in a while. I've done all the convoys. I've found virtually every piece of scrap. I've got all of the races marked on here as to where they start. See, I've unlocked the gas, ability to get gas at every one of them. I'm having to replay the game again. This was the next mission that I was to do, and it's tricky because you have to arrive at this area called the Burning Mound at like sunset. And so it's like a specific time, and meanwhile I'm driving around for hours and hours, and it's like it's not getting any later in the day, so I finally gave up. I just get tired of waiting to trigger this next mission. So I mean, there's some strangeness with the game. It's still a great game. It's a very ambitious game. It's a miracle it even got made. There's so much to it. I've enjoyed exploring. I mean, the shows like there's a scrap thing here. This is tied to a location that I haven't unlocked yet. Now, some of these scrap locations are tied to things, and here's another one down here in the Dune Sea. These are tied to future missions, scrap 0 of 12. So eventually there'll be a mission that'll be tied to that as this one as well. There's 6 there. I've unlocked all this stuff. There's some wonderful locations, wonderful things to explore in the game. It's been a strange story. So anyway, I started playing the game. We've all seen these games that require day one patches and multiple patches to play. And it kind of goes with the territory. You just say, oh, well, it needs a patch, and it doesn't really affect me. Rarely do I even see any changes. I mean, I guess the frame rate is supposedly better. Now there is a glitch in the game that's no longer there. I mean, quite often, I never see the difference. I don't know the difference. I could care less. A patch to me is kind of a nebulous thing because I don't really see how it affects me. But in this case, you can clearly see it. I'm going to find it interesting. There's a location right here on the map that I found by accident after scouring the area, and it's really interesting. Let me see if I can find the quickest way there. I'll go up here. I'll go to Pink Eye's stronghold. I'll go to fast travel here. And then from here I'll drive to this location. And just while I'm talking, and I'll kind of show you some of the game. The game does so many things right with exploration. It tells a wonderful overarching story via the cutscenes, and there's a specific narrative in the game that pays to follow the narrative. At the same time, it also pays to level up and explore and find your way around. Look at the graphics of this. Particle effects. It's just wonderful. The lighting. Look at this light bar swaying in the breeze here with the fluorescence and just people. And as you increase and fix up your settlements and unlock, I've unlocked like everything at all the settlements. It's fantastic. The game does so much right. Here's my magnum opus, but I haven't done this baby in a while. You can get into a different vehicle. You can select a different vehicle via the map. Now the Archangels are the only thing that I haven't really gone nuts and tried to find them all. I want 100% the game, but I've had to play the game 3 different times because after 102 hours, I accidentally, in an instant, overwrote my 102-hour save file and had to start the game over. Then the game started having game-breaking bugs with the map vanishing, so I went back to an earlier save file and replayed the game again, almost from the beginning. And it's like, my God, I just want to get through the game. So it was very disheartening. It's one thing if you wait a year or so and then you replay your favorite game. Some people do that, Mass Effect or Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. They'll have like an annual gameplay session and play their favorite games every year, and it's great because you kind of forget parts of it. It conjures up the feelings of playing it for the first time again, and you feel like you're in absolute heaven. Well, it'd be the same thing with this, but imagine just a few weeks, 3 weeks into it, you got to replay it again because you overwrote a save file, and then a week later you got to replay it again because of a game-breaking bug. This game required not 1, but 4 patches to work perfectly. After patch number 4, and I was going nuts. I went on to Avalanche Studios. I'm canceling my Just Cause 3 pre-order. This is outrageous. I'm sick of you promoting new games when you don't even fix the present games you have. And I went from being one of my favorite games and developers to quickly being on my shit list. And I did my game over rant, which I'll have a link below for that, as I linked it on my last video as well. It's the only time I've ever really lost my shit in a video, getting frustrated with modern gaming. And it's just, to me, there's no excuse for it. I'd rather have waited another year and have the game done right. Now, they frankly, to their credit, Avalanche Studios did, the game was postponed. I had pre-ordered it back in early 2013, or a long time ago. And the game was postponed probably a couple times, and I'm honestly glad that it was, because I think it made for a much better game. Let me see if I can get out here. Let's see, I think you can set a destination waypoint, set marker with the X button. Here we go. I haven't played this in so long, I can't even remember. We get the thundersticks going. Button combos. Oh shit. can't remember the buttons. That was a quick in. I'm going to have to go and find. I don't even know what the controls are. I couldn't find the fire button. It's been so long since I've played it. This is part of the problem with playing a game and starting it and stopping it. Let me see if I can even find my controls. Nothing. Of course, there's no manual. Another frustration with modern games. No manual. All right, so it's probably under a menu somewhere. This is why I should finish games, because when you don't, then you can't remember the button combinations. All right, let's see. How do I get back to? I don't even know how to move the stuff around here. Fast travel. Is there a menu button? Oh, here we go. Autosave settings. Tutorials, maybe. Oh God, how do I just shoot? How do I shoot? It's been so long. I mean, honestly, I don't remember. I don't know what any of the button controls are. Oh goodness. Settings, resume game. Here we go. Maybe here. Controller, button maps. Okay, here we go. Okay, evade, parry, hold, fire, special, camera, move, binoculars, flare, aim, evade. Oh, that's on the ground. Okay, vehicle controls. Here we go. Boost. I found that one. Fire weapon. Oh, it's a circle button. Well, now I know. Just like Grand Theft Auto, triangle is exit vehicle, side ram is the X, grind attack, aim, repair vehicle, toggle. I mean, it's going to take me a while to figure this out. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here. Oh, I died. Load game. All right, I'll go back here again. Go back where I was. So and I wanted to do this. I was falling in love with the game, so I said, 102 hours into it. I said, I'm going to do a special 6 things I love about. I was going to do 5, and I thought of another one. So I said, I'm going to do the things that I love about the game, like I did for Grand Theft Auto 5. And I was excited, so I took the PS4 and hooked it up to my other TV and PC. And in the process, I accidentally overwrote my save file. I went in and I was looking for, I know what it was. I was trying to find the opening scene so I could show that in the video. So I went to one of my earlier save files and I accidentally overwrote it, my 102 hours. It was like a simple mistake, but because it has a weak setup, you can easily overwrite your save files. You got to be extremely careful with the game. So I was devastated. I just was in a state of shock for like 3 days. I'm like, I can't believe I overwrote my 102 hours. So it's like I was cursed with the game. It was a game I absolutely loved, was having so much fun with. But at the same time, it wasn't going in the right directions. Yes, right? Am I going there? So I said, okay, well, I'll replay it. Well, at least the good side is, at least now I know. After 40 hours into it, I learned a lot of things. So I said, I'll be much better with the car combat. I'll be better with the melee. I know how to take down some of the fortresses and hangouts. So maybe it won't be such a bad deal at the end of the day. And that was my point. So then I did it, but then the game started having problems. Oh wait, I gotta go and set my deal here. I'm already getting sidetracked. All right, and I gotta change this.
If you're looking to gain the favor,
There we go.
you can always do death. Drone Darcel's not wrong.
And it's got a random, deal where it's relatively random how things are. Like, this time around I didn't run into those cars, and that's cool. I like the randomness of it. It's well done in that respect. Beautiful vistas, gorgeous graphics. Really well done. I love these balloon rides and just the vistas that you can look at in the distance. It's a wonderful game. It's well thought out. The exploration, like I started to say earlier, the story is not so much through a narrative and cutscenes and all that. Wait a minute. Seems like there's another way here. How am I going? Oh yeah, no. I don't want to go this way. I want to go up here. I have to set this in sections because of this, the way the map is set up. So I'm going to show you the hidden area that I found for those that have played the game and maybe haven't discovered it yet. It's pretty cool. Cut through here. It's a blast. Kicks ass. Wonderful road surfaces, but the story is told not so much through the overall arcing narrative and cutscenes, but it's told through these wonderful historic relics, people that you meet along the way and their bios. The story slowly unfolds through discovery. That's where the game excels to me, and no one ever talks about that. They say, "Oh, the game has no story. Cutscenes are boring." I was unimpressed, naturally. A lot of jaded gamers and reviewers just really miss the forest of the trees with it, which is sad because it's an outstanding game. It really does offer quite a bit. But if you're just going to rely on mainstream reviews, I think GameSpot gave it like a 6 out of 10. Horrible review. Which is just shameful, it really is. And it's sad. It's almost like certain games get paid off. I mean, you get Metal Gear Solid 5 that put people up in hotel rooms. It gave them, a PS4 in every room and a console to play and a TV, and wine and dine you to try to show off the game and make the game as cool as possible. And then a game like Mad Max with virtually no hype, no commercials, very little on it. You'd see a couple, things on Facebook and Twitter about it, and that was it. And it's like, what a tragedy that a great game like this is unheard of. Yeah, it's over in here somewhere. I'm going to just wing it and try to drive there straight across the desert. Beautiful vistas, just an enormous open world, and it's got multiple types of desert and varied locations that really tell a story over time. And that's where the game, I think, gets it right. Let me see if I can change my tires. I think I've got a deal where I can go in and change tires. Let me go in the garage. Oops. Going tires, right? Oh, here we go, tires. Oh, I think I've got the drag racing. Oh, slick rubs. Yes, I need the sand tires. There we go. I'll use these. These are much better for sand. This is on my new 2015 Samsung 4K TV. You see, it's got the Lord Humongous Road Warrior mask on the back of the car. Each one of the little masks that you find has different attributes, giving you more top-end speed or better ramming ability or a better defense or what have you. It's really well thought out in that respect. This is kind of on the edge of the world of the map where you go off and you're in the unknown area, it's outside of the map. It's got a good camera control overall. It's good. I like it. Down here, maybe. Yeah, we're almost there. So if you look on the map, you pull out some of the dunes. You'll see like a little shelf here, and it's right in that shelf. You'll see some little rocks or something, and that's where I put this marker. And you drive down in below, and there's this wonderful hidden location that's not on the map. This is pretty cool. And it's got the buzzard insignias everywhere.
Stay put.
Yes, I will protect your sake.
So you know you're in for a real, treat one way or another going down into here. But notice how like the music changes. It's got this really creepy atmospheric music. There's not enough said about the sound design. I think the sound design in this game is outstanding. Wonderful combination of bass and treble and mid-ranges. The explosions, everything has weightiness, has impact. The way the cars feel, the way they sound, the way a collision sounds, the way an explosion sounds, the way a sniper rifle crack as it echoes across an area sounds. Beautiful, and it has a tasteful ambient music at times. If anything, it's understated music-wise, but it's really, really cool. Look at this really creepy little underground place in here. There's a workbench with some stuff. I mean, this is a whole area that I don't know if this was going to be, DLC down the road and they just forgot about it, or the devs put it in there. But there's a few areas like this that are not on the map, marked as scrap locations, but yet there's things that you can find and do. And you can go up here and you can look down and you look, and there's this whole network of walkways and areas that I found. I was so thrilled. It's little areas like this that are just amazing. Oops, I think I hear something. Is there binoculars? Wait, here we go, binoculars. These binoculars are fantastic. It's a great game. I'm going to have to get all familiar with it all over again. Is there a person down below? Showing on the map there's a person somewhere. I'm not seeing him. I forgot the melee fighting too. I have no idea. I can't remember any of the fighting stuff. I better look real quick. Let's see. Let me see where there's all right. Settings. Game controller. Here we go. On the ground. Sprint to fire. Parry. Okay. Hold fire, weapon, or throw is a circle. Special move. Heavy attack is the square. Hold and aim. Okay, hold and aim. Maybe that's this upper left button. Evade. Where's the gun? Can't remember how to fire the gun. Fire weapon, throw while aiming. Binoculars, flashlight, flare, camera. Here we go. Oh well. Shiv finisher. You got to use those shiv finishers. Once you get better into the melee, you unlock more finishing moves, and man, is it awesome. I love it. You can loot the bodies. I guess these ones don't have any loot, otherwise they would say something. Takes me a while to remember this, but God, I was so thrilled to find this little hidden area like this. Look at this. Obviously a buzzard domain. Some of them I think are dead ends. I think this was like a dead end. This could be you know, a DLC thing they had planned down the road, another whole mission that you get to, and they've closed it off. So it makes you wonder what's in behind all these areas. But it certainly is an area that someone went through and did this beautiful design. Look at this. I love the depth of field effects and the particle effects. There's so much that's done right about this game. It really is fantastic. It's a shame that it's got dismissed with jaded reviews, which is typical. There's different paths, like you can go down. Some places will end up in the same place. Take the lower path or the high road and meet you in Scotland before you. It's wonderful. I love this. Look at this. Like a workbench or something there. Trolls, there they are. And if you sit too long in one spot, they'll throw rocks at you, which is interesting. Cool. Fury kill. Shiv finisher on that motherfucker. Loot. So cool. What a great game. Yeah, now I can hold this weapon too, which is nice. You can use your, their weapons on them. Here's a cool, car. One of the buzzard cars hidden down beneath. And if you want it, this is how you can exit the level and then exit it in that car, which is cool as shit. So I'll take you another way out just to show you more of it. This is a great little area. And it's like they didn't have to design all this stuff. There's a tremendous amount of varied level design that I find throughout the whole game. Some of the strongholds were very easy to get in and infiltrate and take down. Other ones, you had to really think and work your way around it and slowly level up to where you could go back and feel comfortable taking down those areas. Ah, there's more. Finished him. Awesome. Didn't even get to use my weapon. I'm still getting acclimated. Great sounds. I mean, you hear a generator going and the steam coming off it. Here's some light at the end of the tunnel. It kind of tells you there's something out there. So this is one of many little cool areas that you discover, and it's just one little entryway leads to something else. And so, I erased my 102 hours. I gladly replayed it. I said, well, I'll make the best of it. At least now I know how to do this and how to do this. Let's see, how do I climb? There we go. And, and I'll just, at least, the good side is at least now I know what I'm doing. It'll be fun to replay it again. I was fine with that initially. And then it started having game-breaking bugs, and then the map vanished to where there's no map. So awesome. And once the map is gone, that's it. I mean, you can't progress. You go to hit the center button, there's no map. I mean, there's no way to see where you've been, where to go. And I had people argue with me in the comments, oh, dude, just, man up. You just got to find a way around it. You can still play it without the map. I'm like, the game is broken without the map. I don't know where the hell I am. I can remember how to get to some places, but I don't know how many more places I have. I can't 100% the game now without knowing where the scrap locations are. So it was out of control. Look at this, all this great gore, the blood dripping off the stump there. God only knows what happened to these poor devils. But it's a great story. It's a great story that's told through the environment and through the historic relics. And like I said, character bios and people that you come in contact with. The game doesn't get enough credit in that respect. And then here's the way out. Now you're into the wasteland. You're out into the area that's the Forbidden Sea or whatever the hell it is. I can go around. There's another way around all this stuff here. So here we go. So now you look at the map, and you're actually out in the big nothing. And there's a way you can launch this car. You look on the map, there's a little red car, enemy car you can see. You can take that one car and it launches you out of a tube out into the desert, which is really cool as shit. So, but that's one, really interesting area that you can go. I'll just fast travel somewhere else. Fast travel here. This is a good place to go. So it's the sense of discovery, the really balanced car combat, the melee combat I find is extremely satisfying. And that's why I wanted to talk about this 1 year after it came out, because this game literally rocketed right to my top 10 video games of all time list. I think it's that good. And people say, well, I don't see how you can give it such a high, high score and rave about it so much. When the game screwed you, it obviously left you stranded with all the game-breaking bugs and problems. And it's like my marriage. I mean, I've been married for over 20 years now. My wife and I have had some terrible knockdown, drag-out fights, but it doesn't mean that I love her any less. In fact, sometimes it's even more fun to make up, and get back in the saddle again. And the relationship gets back on track. And then you find that you love that person through those trials and tribulations even more. To me, it's the same thing with video games. Some games, you can have your problems with them, but at the end of the day, the game does so many damn things right, and you're in love with it at that deeper level, like you are in a relationship, and you're willing to persevere and get through it. And to me, this game succeeds in that respect. It's wonderful environments. I mean, now the place is all dialed in because I found all of the things out there. There's a story told as you're progressing. The people tell you, hey, thanks for finding our water or finding this or for helping us with this problem or what have you. I still don't have my V8 yet. You can see I'm missing the V8 thing here. Chum bucket working away on a motor back. You see what's down here. But these are all great. This is one of the hardest battles was inside this camp here. Wonderful camp. Really tough boss battles. Once you know the system to beat the boss battles, they aren't too bad, but some of them were interesting. And all the minefields, and I mean there were millions of scrap locations, and I found them all. And it's almost sad to go back now, and it's like to see that, God, I've been everywhere. I've actually found most of the stuff, with the exception of a few areas that are tied to missions and what have you. And there's something up there. Scavenge locations. There's a hidden back entrance right up in here too, back into the area that you can get to. Can't quite get a car through it, I think, but you can walk through it. There's a back entrance there, and there's another entrance somewhere else through the map, through the wall. But it's very well thought out. That unlike a game like No Man's Sky, where it's a computer-generated thing, someone lovingly designed every single canyon, cave, road, outcropping, stronghold in this, and that's what makes this game so incredible. What's this up here? Let me just take a drive. We'll just take a drive up to this hill. See what happens along the way. Beautiful graphics. I love the photorealistic desert and sand and little chunks of flame coming out of the exhaust when the car stops. And I mean, there's a lot of attention to detail, and you can see they really were in love with the source material when they made the game, and that's what's so cool about it. Naturally, as you free each area and take down the convoys and dismantle all the camps and the scarecrows, you slowly get rid of a lot of the enemies. So that's why I'm not getting plagued with millions of enemies right now, because I've already kind of cleared them all out. So part of the game is really tough initially until you level up, but then it can get to the point where you level up to such a degree the game can become less of a challenge And that's where that balance is. I kind of got to that point where I've eaten so much of the game, and it's become so easy. Oops, I meant to fire a thunderstick at him. Here we go. I love those thundersticks. And the cleanup crew automatically gets your cleanup. You're scrapped where you don't have to go back and get it, which is really cool. So yeah, it had 4 patches. I think I played it like another maybe 10 or 15 hours after the game was patched, and you know, and found more stuff and had more fun with it. Took down a couple more strongholds to get where I'm at right now with it. Here's the gate. It takes you through to the next area. I think there's a, how do I do it? There's an in-car view. I swear my first in-car view. Oh shit, it's not that. Where's the in-car view? I don't even know. Let me see if I can find it. Settings. Here we go. Controllers. Okay, on ground. Vehicle controls. Here we go. Camera. Toggle repair. Snipe person view. Hold. Camera. Hold and look back. Would that be it? I don't know, I guess. Let me see. Huh. I don't know how to do it. How do you change your camera view? Ah, there it is. You click down twice. This is a great view, the first person view. The first time I discovered this, which was several hours into the game, I was blown away. So once you become more acclimated with the game, then it becomes really fun to just drive around in the first person view because it's more of a challenge. Oh shit. Oh, here we go. Where it gets fun. Try to outrun him. Got my thundersticks now. There. What the hell am I? I'm off the road. I'm really rusty at this. Yes. Yeah. There's a way to repair the car. Let's see. How do I repair it? Oh,
It needs repairs now.
Chum Bucket gets out there and lovingly repairs it. It's such a great game. It's a shame that I had the problems. I mean, just playing it now and trying to get reacclimated with it, it tells me why I fell in love with it in the first place. It does so much right. I remember the first time, that's a good example right there, that I took down this stronghold on this bridge, and I was getting sniped from every angle. I was just trying to find a way to get up there and to slowly take out all the snipers via my car here. It was so cool. Such a great game. If you haven't played it, and if you have any affinity for the films, but for the love of God, you've got to get this game. It's just so good. It's showing a scrap location on here. I'm pretty sure I've already found them all, but I'm going to try to. I'm going to go there anyway. Get my icon set to it and see if it's something that I've missed. I always try to help these guys out a little way, but sometimes it doesn't pay.
Yes, we're never retired.
So you use some of your resources to help them out. There's actually, you find out later in the game, there really is plenty of water and gas. Sometimes these people get killed by a convoy right after you help them out, which is terrible. I try to immediately help them and get the hell out of there before the poor devils get killed. So I used half of my water. Oh, here they come, yeah. Yes. Listen to those explosions. Great visuals. Still got 10 of those thunder sticks left. Shit. Got my control here. Tons of ways to set your car up with armor for defensive or offensive attacks, which is awesome. Like I said, just the melee alone is incredible. The car combat kicks ass. So much fun. Gas Town, you see it off ahead there. What's cool is that the fact that it gets into, oops, I missed a turn. That it has areas that were talked about. You know, the Bullet Farm and Gas Town in the Fury Road movie, which is really cool as shit. And it has lots of Easter eggs from, Beyond Thunderdome and Mad Max and Road Warrior. The game is really, it's a Mad Max experience. Not so much, a complete story that's copied off one of the films, but it really is an experience. See, now the sun is setting. Now I could probably go back and do that mission, or I'm getting closer to it. The sun is setting. Sure. We got a car coming up behind me there. Let's see. Thunder sticks ready. Look at this gorgeous sunset. And these vistas are just incredible. Now it's showing a scrap location here that I've missed somehow. I don't believe that because I know I've got them all. Let's see what it is. Oh, here's water. I need water to fill up after giving water to those guys. Bonus water. There's some derelict out here on the end of it here, so you come down. That's what's left of the chorus. And there's lots of hidden little areas. Some are tunnels you can easily miss, or ladders. Naturally, things are marked with a bright yellow ladder or like a little edge, so you know what you've got to. How to reach things are pretty easy to find. It's pretty user-friendly in some respects. See, I don't know, it shows now, it doesn't show it. I'm not seeing the icon now. There was an icon on the map. Let me see if it's still on the map. Yeah, see, it shows a track project part, scrap and scrap group parts. It shows it's checked off, but it still shows it on the map. It's obviously a little glitch. We'll go back to this little area here. The sun is setting, so now I can get ready to do a mission. Mission, we have to go up and use the sunset to spot this campfire at night. I've already done it. Then you you drive to the campfire. Once you unlock this thing, then it progresses the missions, then you can drive to that campfire and you can find out what's going on. Let me pause this just for a minute, I just got a phone. So now I'm finally motivated to replay the game, or not so much replay it, and I've even thought of doing that, going back to the beginning and replaying it all over again, and that is an option, but I'm so close now to getting it finished, I hate to do that a third time, and so much time has gone by, but I wouldn't mind in a way. Yeah, this is a nice little place. You can go do a race up here too, which is pretty cool. And I like these death races, and I've been kind of focusing on, I went and found all the collectibles, and I've been doing all the death races and doing them with different types of cars, which is really cool. Great art direction and design in here. Like this broad here, you're supposed to do a race thing with her. She's all jacked up. And that's where I'm at in the game, is to progress the stories. I'm going to have to do some other things, but eventually I'm going to interact with her and then go into this big race thing to enter the race in Gastown, and I know that's the next big step. But it's just beautiful. I just love finding the hidden collectibles and the loot. I've leveled my dude up. Let's see where I'm at here. Let's see, I'm on bios. I've got, kind of tells you where you're at. I've 100% of the tools and weapons. I've found 96% of the locations, most of the buzzard enemies, roadkill enemies. I've leveled Max up. I mean, he's got all of his, all the upgrades and his melee fighting stuff. It's so cool. The car, I've done virtually every single thing on the car. I've upgraded it. You can take off some of the heavier bumpers where now that I'm better. I took off some of the sidebar stuff. I left one heavy bumper on the front for ramming, but I've got it set up to where it's pretty fast. In fact, I can probably get rid of these tires now and get my other drag tires back. These tires handle a little bit better on the roads. When you're out in the sand dunes, it's nice to use the sand dune tires. And the game has so many RPG elements. I mean, it really is a blast. You can see I'm up level 93 Road Warrior. I've leveled the hell out of him. The Griffa guy, unfortunately, he vanishes. I really enjoyed my interactions with him, kind of on a spiritual quest to find out who you are and to see just how insane you are. And I like that aspect of it. The game does so much right. It really is a hidden gem. And someday, over time, you'll see that. People are going to refer back, and when this is on a budget thing, what are the best games you can pick up for $10, this will be one of them. It's a great game, and it's really a shame that it hasn't gotten more praise. Yeah, I'm real close to this area now to where I should be able to see this sun. There's a sunset. You have to wait for a certain time of day, and then you can go. I think it's down there somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, it's up here. Only available during nights. The problem is I keep coming up here, but it never turns to night. Alright, why isn't he jumping? I don't know the jump button. Which one is it? It's not that one. Wasting all my ammo here. Alright, here we go. Some cars. Don't really come. Just random events. It's so cool. But put in the comments if you've played the game. Have you played it? If you have played it, did you like the game? Did you not like it? Do you think it was overhyped? Do you think it was underhyped? Do you think it could be better? Was there something that stood out that was really great that you loved that you think they could have implemented in more other open world games? Is there something that you think that took away from the game overall that could have been much better? I'm curious. This is my 1-year anniversary. The game, like I said, came out a year ago today. I'm shocked that a year's gone by. And since then, I mean, I got 142 hours into Fallout 4. I still haven't finished that. I never finished this. I haven't finished so many other racing games, and especially retro games I've been playing. And it's like I feel cursed because I never finished this game. Nothing else has been finished because in the back of my mind, I know I need to go back and complete my dream game, and and to fully appreciate the full story and to see if I can really 100% it, which I really would love to do. I've heard there's some glitches where it's hard to 100% it because some things will appear and then they don't appear, and you can't find this one thing you need or something. So I mean, we'll see what happens with that. I'm just happy to be able to even finish the main story of the game. So thanks for watching, guys. This is something that was just kind of a casual setting. I wanted to talk about the game. I love the game so much, and I think it does so many things right that it's really worth a play. And you can get the game cheap. I think you can get it for $25 to $30, brand new now. It still holds its own. Now the game has been patched, it works fine. If you have a PC, it's one of the most optimized, the best running PC games that you can play. It literally is that good. It plays on a wide range of PCs. So the game has incredible merit. I definitely would recommend it. You can watch, I'll link below several Mad Max videos that I did, and you can see all of them. I'll link them all below. If you have any interest in the game at all, and if you love the films as much as I do, give it a chance. I think you'll absolutely love Mad Max. I've had such a magical time playing. It's a shame that those wonderful, periods in time playing the game have also been mired with, game-breaking bugs and issues, because I'm determined to find the fun in the game, and I have found it. I just hopefully won't encounter any more game-breaking bugs, but it seems like patch 4 really did take care of it. So thanks for watching, guys, and whether it's this or any other game, enjoy your games.